All right. So, how many of us were able to get all the labs done? And where are we? Where are we right now? You know, let me know where are we, because we have a pretty long way to go. Okay. So for this training, we're building up gradually. So the more we build, the more it becomes intense. And if you are not careful, you will drop out. Okay? Because if you cannot do these little ones right now and follow it amicably and follow it to the T, it will be difficult for you. I can guarantee you what is coming ahead is bigger. Or deep. So please try as much as possible to do it. I know we are all busy, okay, but the truth is, consider the fact that when I'm done with this, November end 6-figure. You know, let that you know, let.
Do you still can't see you? I can only see Mr. Paul. I can't see every other person.
Oh, really? Okay,
yes.
Let me do something. How about now?
No, still you.
Okay, you see me.
You should be able to see everybody now.
Go up where it says.
Go up where
it says gallery view.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you can see everybody now.
Oh my God, I look horrible. Oh wait. What?
It's good. You're good. You're okay.
Yes.
So please, as much as we want to become DevOps engineers, there is a whole lot that we have to know, you know, because if you don't do all those tasks, I bet you what is coming, oh deep, oh huge. So take out time and get those labs done, because if you carry over and labs is, you know, pushing carry over, more labs are coming, you will get overwhelmed. So as I'm dishing out those labs, as we are doing it together, try as much as possible to do it. Because I guarantee you, if you are not careful, till labs about it, but later on, you don't do them, you will drop out, period. I know, because what is coming is big. It will now, so I don't know how you're about, you know, see this proverb, but then we just have to do what we have to do. Okay, we have to do what we have to do. It's super important, right? So please, in as much as we're trying to, you know, end this figure, okay, you have to do the work. Please, let's try and get those labs done. For those of us who are lacking behind in getting those done, because the lab is just going to be coming and coming and coming and coming. We're still going to like 35 labs and 40 thereabouts. So go deep. Go deep. So please try as much as possible to do those labs, all right? So today we're going to be we're still on Sonar queue. Let me see if my instance are, oh, did I just terminate this? Oh, okay, I think I terminated this. All right, so my Sonar queue is still on. Let's go, where's my Sonar queue? Sorry, this is out, get out. Go now. All right, so my Sonar queue is on. So basically, what we want to just do, we have like, I think three labs I want us to deal with today. With a deep go. Go deep. Go deep, huh? It's not deep, don't worry, I'm just messing with you. So we want to install, we're still in Sonar queue. So we want to like set up PL and SQL files. Now, let me explain what that means. You know, when we were trying, where's my, hold on one second, let me pull up my screen. Where is this guy? 1 second. Just 1 minute. Let's see. I see the. You know, we're trying to set up this. This is where we are right now. Okay. So now we're still in Sonar Cube. Now, a lot can be done using the Sonar Cube. You know, on Tuesday, we were able to set up uh, uh, Sonar Cube so that we can scan all Java files. Not even all Java files. Java file that ends with WAR, W-R and W-A-R, is just like you unzipping. Okay, so and there's a whole lot you can do here when it comes to Sonar Cube. Part of what you can do, I actually use this in the office to scan. I use Sonar Cube in the office to scan my SQL files because there are some codes that I will just get online. Probably my boss says, "Hey, Paul, I need history of ABC." I don't have to start, running, start writing those codes. I just go to Google and just type it and look for something else somebody has written before. And they probably just modify it a little bit and then run it. So a lot of times when I do that, some syntax or some little details are missing. Okay, and because it's not Java, there are some plugins that you have to install that will enable SonarCube to scan any file that has to do with SQL. Does that make sense? It will scan those files just exactly as this. All right, just exactly as this. If we go back to, we already understand how this works. So basically, we want to enable scanning for SQL. Okay, that's just what we want to do. Okay, we want to enable scanning for SQL inside SonarCube so that if you get to work, you get a job, and you have to scan every code that passes through your pipeline before deployment. Okay, same procedure, same concept, same everything. You have to pass through this SonarCube. Okay, so inside this SonarCube, you can scan whatever codes in as much there is the plugins available. And thank God for Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins, like I said, Jenkins is the king of kings when it comes to automation, or when it comes to CI/CD. Everything is plugged into Jenkins, right? So let's just go and see how we can actually get that done. Let me come here. Let me type Sonar. Let's see. Sonar Cube. Let's see. Okay, so I have to enable this. All right. So what we want to do, we just want to enable a scanner for PSL. Simple. It's straightforward. All right. It's straightforward. So what we have to do, there are certain criteria that is needed. First of all, if your Sonar Cube is not up, I can't help you. Okay, your Sonar Cube has to be up, and running. Okay, and the first thing is to navigate to the Sonar home where the plugins was installed. Okay, so it means that we have to CD into this directory. All right, once we are into this directory, we are going to download the open source plugin using this command. All right, and once we're done, we'll stop the SonarCube scanner by using this command. And when we're done, we start it and make sure SonarCube is up and running. Of course, we'll have to check the status and make sure it's up and running. And once it's up, you can always see this message. Okay, and then we'll log into SonarCube, navigate to profiles, and then you will see this added. First of all, let's even go to the quality profile sections and see what's there under there. All right, so quality profile. Am I logged in? Okay. Now you can see these are just, let me close this. Yeah, so you can see here, these are quality profiles. Okay, it says quality profiles are just selections of rules to apply during analysis. So for instance, now if you, like I was explaining to you, that if you want to scan any file, you can see Java, JavaScript, Kotlin, PHP, Drupal, Python, Ruby, and also VB.NET, XML. You see, there's no SQL there, right? There's no PSQL. Okay, so we want to be able to enable that so that once you have a code that is written in SQL, it will be easier, all right, for you to scan that code regardless. For instance, if our code here was to be Python, okay, if our code here, you know, this our code is a JavaScript, is a Java program. If our code was to be Python, now SonarCube will scan it because by default you can see it here, and you can see it says used. It's never used. Do you understand that? If you see this JSP, because this our application is kind of a JSP. Did you see that? It says 4 hours ago it was scanned. Does that make sense? Am I communicating? Does that make sense? If you have any question, just interrupt me, please. You know, so each and every code that passes through SonarCube, in as much it belongs to or is attached to this quality profile under SonarCube, SonarCube will ensure it's scanned properly. All right? So it will ensure it's scanned properly. So right now, what we want to do is that we want to set up PSQL scanner. I want to set up SonarCube for PSQL scanner. Okay, and these are just the simple, straightforward procedure or directions that we have to follow. Okay, now let's start ASAP. Let's just make sure our SonarCube is running. Let me see. Let me go to my server here. Where's my SonarCube? This is my SonarCube. Let me see this. Let me run this and see if it's connected. All right, so this is my SonarCube. All right, so my SonarCube is up and running. What's this? Oh, this is my Windows server. Which one is this? Nexus now. Sorry. All right, so this is my SonarCube. All right, so let's go into the root. Okay, now that we're in the root, let's check out what we have to do. First of all, we confirmed now that our SonarCube is up and running. Okay, we want to go into this directory, cd opt SonarCube extension and plugins rather. So cd opt SonarCube extension plugins. All right, so you can see these are all the plugins inside SonarCube. Does that make sense? So this here, all these ones, okay, all these plugins is represented inside this guy. So you can see there's C# plugin, there's CSS, there's Flex, there is Go, There's an application that was written in Go. Which application was written in Go? I can't remember. You have HTML, you have Jacoco, Java, and every other programming language, Python, Ruby, Scala, and what have you. So now we want to install or set up PLSQL. Okay, so first of all, we've confirmed that our Sonar Cube is up and running. Then we have navigated to where plugins are installed inside of Sonar Cube. Now we want to download the PLSQL Open plugin by using this command. So let's copy it and then go here. Let me clear this. I just like this going to be clean. And then I paste. Enter. So it's downloaded now. All right. The next step is to do what? Is to stop the Sonar Cube scanner. All right. CTL stop Sonar. So you can always come here. Let's clear the screen. System CTL stop Sonar. Okay, so all right, that has been done. Now, the next thing is to do what? We have to start Sonar all over again. I'm just gonna come here and just edit this by saying start, and that is done. The next thing, let's make sure Sonar Cube is up and running. Okay, I'm still going to use the same thing and just edit and say status. So you can see it says it's active, success, blah blah blah. Everything looks good, right? Now, once started, you should see this message. Of course, we've sent these messages. If you didn't see this, and you have to probably confirm and make sure everything is working. Now let's just go into this place and see if we have that up and running. So Sonar Cube is starting. Let's just give it a couple of minutes. Any question before my Sonar Cube? Oh, operational is up. Click here. Maintenance, what happened? About, let me log in. Main. I hope I can log in. Okay, I'm in. Let's go to qualitative profiles. Let's see if that's okay. All right, you can see PSQL profile, the one we just installed right now. Look at updated 31 seconds ago. Does that make sense? Any question of the day? It looks simple, right? It looks simple now, right? Oh yeah. Question, Shadi. You're shaking your head, yeah. Unmute yourself.
I don't know if it's because I haven't done the last lab. So I don't want to get it. I don't know how you got to this page where we have to run Ruby, Python, Sonar, and all that.
You see, that's why I said, that's why when I started, I said, if you don't do it, a lot will keep coming and you will lose track. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot will keep coming and you lose track. So what I installed was just a plugin that enables Sonar Cube to scan any files that has to do with SQL. Do you understand? That's all I installed. That's all. Nothing serious. Nothing. All right? That's all I installed. So that's going to be part of the lab. Okay? I'm just going to send you. Let me send this. Server. I'm going to put this here as lab. This should be lab A. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
The plugins we have, are they part of the plugins we also included in the Jenkins also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, SonarCube has a plugin already. If you go to your Jenkins, all right, and let's go back to Jenkins and then manage Jenkins, and let's go manage plugins, all right? So you can see every plugin. So let's go to one that has been installed already. You can see there are numerous plugins. In fact, one of the reasons when I was in an interview yesterday, the guy said, why Jenkins? Why do you like Jenkins? I said, look, one of the reasons why I love Jenkins is the fact that it's flexible. That's one. Number two, the plugins, there are thousands of plugins. And number three, it's easy to even develop your own plugin. And number four, it's open source. All right? So without plugin, Jenkins is useless. Do you understand? Without plugins, Jenkins is useless. If you don't install any plugin in Jenkins, Jenkins is just as empty as, you know, what to use. So without plugins, Jenkins is useless. Okay, so if you come in and filter with GitHub, for instance, GitHub, okay, you can see quite a number of different GitHub plugins. Some were developed by individuals. All right, let me click this. Let me see. Let me click this. Okay, so you can see. Let me check this out. This is Jenkins. Okay, so you can see that different plugins can be used in as much as, in fact, look, the reason why we have plugins is to enhance functionality of any program. Okay, so get that straight. So we're done with this, okay? I want you guys to tackle this. This is pretty easy and straightforward. The next thing we want to go into now, we want to do, look at my chart here. Okay, let me use my spotlight. Oh, sorry, I don't want arrow. All right, now we've been able to commit. We'll be able to have 3 developers or 4 developers or 5 developers rather. Okay, developers commit their codes in their local repo. Okay, and then when they are done with those changes, what do? They push those changes to the remote repo, which is either GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket. Okay, and then when that happens, there is an intermediary here that triggers the build, which is the webhooks. Now, when that happens, Jenkins builds the job. Okay, Jenkins builds the job with the help of Maven because the file is a Java file. Okay, because the file is a Java file. So when Jenkins builds the job, before it gets to the development environment, which is this one. This is our development environment. Okay? So before it gets to the development environment, what happens? SonarCube takes over. Okay? So when SonarCube takes over, every code is being scanned here to ensure there are no bugs, there are no vulnerability, duplicates and all the every. Do you understand? That's actually the process. Once SonarCube says, hey, the codes are good, thank you guys. What next? It fires up to, where is it? to your dev environment, which is this one. All right? Now, we want to add a little tweaks to it. We have Nexus right here. The reason for Nexus is that once we have a clean code or a clean file certified by Sonar, we want to have that clean code stored somewhere so that at any time we want to redeploy, we will redeploy from the Nexus. Does that make sense? Any question? So you can see that gradually we are integrating a whole lot. We're integrating a whole lot, and that's how so if we don't understand the process from when the developer commits code to when it gets to the final destination or to the final deployment, okay, it will be difficult for you to even run an interview, because the reason why we need to understand this, so that at the end of the day, when we're speaking as an authority in that field. One of the reasons why I started, training and making videos, it wasn't because of the money. It wasn't because of the money. It was because of marketing. One of my boss just called me and said, "Hey, Paul, you want to start getting hits from these recruiters? Start doing videos and put it on social media." And that was it. My first video on LinkedIn got about 1,000 views. And you always see where they viewed it from. Microsoft, Oracle, different companies. They have seen. And that was how I started getting hits. What am I saying? You need to understand how this works so that when you're running your interviews or you're doing your interviews, it's easier to explain, from your own perspective, how you understand it. Because they're going to ask you, what is CI/CD? So the process I'm explaining now is CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment. All right? So now we want to add a little twist to it. And what is the twist? Nexus. Okay? Nexus is the twist that we want to add to it. Nexus is just a binary repo or a software platform that allows you to store your file. Okay? Not just store your file, store a clean code, your cleanest code. Okay, because SonarCube has scanned it. SonarCube says you're good to go. Nexus will say, hey, let me keep a copy of that clean code. Just in case Simi wants to redeploy, you don't have to deploy from here. You just, deploy from here because you already have that clean setup, that clean code, that clean file. Any question?
I have a question.
Go ahead, sir.
So, can't we just can we use GitHub again?
We're going to use GitHub. Why not?
No, for this clean code.
Once you're done with your deployment and everything looks good, what are you looking for in GitHub?
Is another repository now, like create another account or something?
Look, GitHub is just a place where you store your codes.
Mm-hmm. Initially.
Your initial codes. Every one of these applications has its own space, its own purpose and plan, and they have their own things they take care of in that CI/CD chain. The purpose of you jumping to GitHub again is probably you made a change in your local repo. To make change in your local repo here, right? But you have to commit now. When you commit in your local repo, where do you push to? Are you going to push straight from your local repo to Nexus?
No, my question is, I'm sorry, what does Nexus do? It stores code too, right?
That's
App applications.
that's exactly what I've been explaining. You just start your applications, your cleanup, your clean code.
Is this something like a snapshot, like similar to what the snapshot does? Like you can deploy from your
Yeah, you can. I mean,
Nexus.
no matter, you can explain it the way you understand it. But the basic of Nexus is to store your artifacts, to store your codes. Okay? Go ahead.
So if Nexus is storing codes, and that is what GitHub is for. So what is?
Now,
I get what you're saying.
good question.
Quality.
Good question.
Yeah, okay.
GitHub stores your raw codes. Sonar, Nexus store the WAR file, the Java script, the Java file. You don't get it. Now, let me come to this. Now, it is just a repo. You can see it's a binary repo. But the kind of files that is stored in there is just your clean files. Because even if you have your file here, a lot of these files in your GitHub are not that clean. So even if you push your stuff from your local to this guy's okay. Let me say something. Let me say something.
A bug free.
A bug free.
Yeah.
So basically, like a filtered code is being stored in the Nexus, right?
Yeah.
Yes, a bug free. That's a good word. A
bug free.
You know, pass through Sonar Q.
Yes. Yeah. So you can imagine if there is no Sonar Q, then a whole lot of wahala will come here. Look at upload WAR, WAR. That's one of his main matter. Store your code, store your bugless code.
So my question again. So GitHub can never save or store clean code.
Of course, GitHub can store clean codes.
Okay.
Okay, that is where we call master branch. Okay, if you come here, where's the application? We have what we call branches. Okay, let me quickly explain what branches mean. For instance, this branch is like the production branch of your GitHub account. Nothing comes there if it's not that clean. Even when it will still be scanned by this guy here, SonarQ. So the way branching works is that now we have 3 developers here. Each of the developer will create a separate branch. Go and work on it. And when you're done working, everybody merges to one branch. That branch is the master branch. Now, the fact that everybody merges here doesn't mean that all the codes are clean or super clean, because there's nothing scanning it. Doesn't make sense, because there's nothing scanning it here technically. It has to pass through this guy. So once it passes through this guy, it becomes bugless, free, bug-free code. but it stores in WAR, WAR. Okay, that is a Java. WAR is just a Java based application. Okay, it's just like if I want to send you files. If the files are much, what do? I will zip it, right? When I zip it, I send you that zip file, right? What do you do to the zip file? You unzip it, and then you see every files inside, right? That is what Word does. So Word has everything that your application needs. Okay? Your Java pages, your JavaScript, your static pages, everything zipped inside one file. And that file is called Word. Hallelujah. I'm sounding like a minister now. Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? So that is just it. So when you're done scanning here, it sends it to Nexus as WAR or as JAR. Okay? As JAR. JAR. Do you understand that? Shewa. Good. Sheldon, any other question?
No, we're good.
So that's how it works. Okay, so it's when you understand the scenario I just painted, the example I just made by using zip file, it will make a lot of sense. Now, if let me see, let me just give this. Let me just check out something. Let me see. Download free HTML templates. Okay, let me see if I can see. Just quickly, just free stuff. Okay, let me download this file. Oh, okay, let me download this. Let's see. All right, so it's downloading. All right, it's done. What file is this? What file is this?
Can you put it on it again?
This file right here.
The zip file.
It's a zip file, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I extract this zip file, this is what it gives me, right? Huh?
Yes.
Now, these guys serves as all your JavaScript, your Java pages, your HTML, everything inside. So as soon as let's see, download. Let me go back to my download folder. All right. So as soon as as soon as Sonar Cube is done scanning all your files, it sends it to Nexus as a WAR file or as a zip file. You know what I'm saying? Oh my zip or oh my WAR, because WAR is for Java. And then it stores a copy of this zip file in your Nexus. Hello? Do you understand that? I'm just taking time to explain that so that you will understand this relationship right here. Because everything that has to do with DevOps right here is inside this guy. Everything we're going to do in the next is here. Do we get that? Do we get it now? You get it now. Let me speak like an Igbo man. You get it now. All right. So now we want to set up Nexus. Look at this. I love this. I love this part. Did you see what it says? I love that statement. Single source of truth for all your components, binaries, and build artifacts. Single source of truth. What does that mean? It means that anything, any code, any binary, any artifact that goes to Nexus, it means that that's your cleanest of the cleanest codes, because it has passed through a lot of scanning. Does that make sense? So that's it. Period. So we want to install that. It has a lot of steps that we still have to follow. Like I said, I just redesigned this site today. It's looking much more better. So we want to install Nexus. This time around, we're not going to use Ubuntu. We're going to use Red Hat. All right? We're going to use Red Hat. Let's see, Red Hat. All right, so we're going to use Red Hat. Okay, and it's super easy. So it says binary. Nexus is a binary repo manager used for storing build artifacts, which of course we will eventually integrate Nexus with Jenkins for uploading our files. Does that make sense? So right now we have to install. It's a little tricky. So please don't blink. If you blink, you miss it, then you go and watch the video. But let's just take our time. Let's be together and take it step by step by step. Everything that has to do with, look, there is no harm in, or how do I put it? No matter what you want to solve, I will always say you don't need to know it by heart. Okay? You don't need to know it by heart. You just need to know what you want to do and get to the right information and get it done, period. All right? So, what we want to do is that we're going to set up another instance. You can see that we're going a little deeper. Instance, well, here are the steps. We're setting up Red Hat 8 Enterprise or Red Hat Enterprise 8 version. All right? Once we're done with that, we have to make sure port 8081 is open in your security group. If that is not open, you cannot, you won't be able to log in. Now, just a quick one. If you go on if you're developing, if you're working on any application or you're trying to, and it's not displaying, there's tendency that security group or the port for that web server, web application, or web whatever, it's not opened. I just remember to throw that there so sometimes you might be installing stuff and you forgot to open the port and you keep slapping yourself and say, I've done everything, I follow the process and I'm still having this error. What's the issue? Please. All right, so once the port 8081 is open in our AWS security group, we have to install the wget. Once we're done with that, we'll download Java. Java will always be there. Java and Linux, they are family. And of course, you will check the version and make sure it's there. Once it's there, we have to cd into this directory. So inside this directory, we will do what? We will download Nexus. Once we're done downloading Nexus, we will extract it. So once we're done with the extraction, we are going to move this into this Nexus folder. All right? and then we create a user called Nexus. And of course, we have to change the ownership of Nexus file and the data directory of the Nexus user by applying this command. All right, by applying this command, and then we apply this command. Then the next thing we have to do is we have to go into the settings just to add the user. So we would uncomment this and then add the user Nexus, and then we get out of the file. When we're done with that, we have to modify the memory settings, which is pretty important. Once we edit the memory settings, we're going to use 512, 512, and 512, and then we exit. Once that is done, it's time to set up Nexus to run as a service. So we'll go into this file, and we'll copy this code. All right. Once we're done with that, we'll create a link to the Nexus, and we execute every other part. So it's a straightforward installation, but of course, just make sure you follow it step by step. So I'm going to paste this as lab 9. Okay. Lab 10 is jogging. Any question? All right, so let's go to our AWS. Let's spin up Red Hat, because my hat is not that red, but let's spin up Red Hat. All right, so we're looking at Red Hat Enterprise 8 version. All right, it's not part of, I don't think it's part of the free tier. So we're spinning up Enterprise 8 version. All right.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between this Red Hat and
they are just all Linux, but they have different flavor. Okay, yeah, they're all Linux, but they have
Can we run a sudo on it?
Yes. Yeah, different Linux distros. There's a whole lot. All right. There's a whole lot of different Linux. Okay, Linux distribution. So you have Ubuntu. You have Fedora, which is a free version of Red Hat. I've never installed Fedora before, but it's just a free version of Red Hat. Then we have Linux Mint. Now I remember this OpenSUSE, because one of my bros then in Lagos, he was always using black screen. I was always seeing this SUSE. Then you have Debian, okay, and we have this. So there's a whole lot. This is just even little of Linux distributions. Okay, there are a lot of it. You can see all these are Linux based. You can see that all these are Linux based distribution. And there's one that if you're trying to do cyber security, it's called Kali Linux. This one is for the boys, for those boys. Baba and boys in there. So this is strictly, this one is designed for cybersecurity, hacking, pen testing.
You use the Kali Linux for like phishing emails and all like that.
Yeah. If I had to stop learning Kali Linux because I was knowing too much things. I was knowing things that I didn't want to know, so I just left it. So OD. So that's another Linux distro or Linux flavor. So there's a whole lot of flavors.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Yes.
This Kali Linux, can you use it together with this Raspberry Pi?
Yes, you can use it with Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have Raspberry Pi?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah. I think I had one. I didn't know where I kept it. Yeah, you can use it with your Raspberry Pi. So there's a whole lot of Linux flavor. All right, so let's get to business. All right, so what we want to do is to install this guy. All right, so these are the setup. So we're back to our to our AWS. Let's spin up Red Hats. Say spin up Red Hats. You know, by now you should know how to do that. If you can't do it, I can't help your ministry. So we're going to choose T2 small. Okay, I'm going to choose T2 small, and then I'm just going to go straight to review and launch because every other thing is just going to be the same. All right. So, and then launch. I'm going to choose my key, my pen. So let's go. So let's wait for a couple of seconds while that is spinning up. Any other question? Any question? Sheldon, Simi, Shower, Paul, Sheldon. No question. Everything looks good. All right. So let me. Okay, this is up and running. All right. Now remember, we have to open port 80, 81, 80, 81, 80, 80. So we're going to open port 80, 81 or port 80, 81. Look at our security groups right here. This is the name of our security groups. Launch Wizard 4 at Gmail. So we're going to open the ports.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
If we run all these instances, if we run them in another another zone, another region, will it affect any of the
No, sir.
instances?
No, sir.
Because I think we're running it on
West North Virginia?
Yeah.
You can run it anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, you can run it anywhere. In fact, let's even run it. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I choose West Virginia. I don't know why I chose West Virginia, but you know, it doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter. But let me choose Northeast. I want to check out something. Okay, so I don't have it. Okay, this security group is okay. Okay, so it means that my security group is based on regions. All right, so that's what I wanted to confirm. So let me do security groups. You see there. Okay, there's a security group that is default right here. Now let me push this up a little bit. Inbounds. Okay, go back to my West Virginia. Like one I had on TV, say West Virginia, Nigeria, sure. So, all right, let's go back to our instance. Our instance is running up and running. So let me just name this Nexus, right? T2 small. All right, so let me log into my Red Hat. Oh, what happened here? This is still up. My Tomcat.
A quick question.
Yes,
Can you attach can you associate Elastic IP to the instance you just provided?
Associate Elastic IP to any instance.
Okay, I just want to know.
Any instance. So
because I know it's not good for some jobs.
So let me connect. Connect. Oh, why is he not copying my copied? Like, did you copy? Paste. So you have EC2-user. All right. So I'm going to click this, look for where my PEM key is, and boom, boom. So now we're on. All right. So we have, we have our instance up and running. All right. So let's check if Java is installed. Java not found. All right. Let's move on. The next thing we'll have to do, I missed the point. I missed the step. Who knows the step I missed? I just missed a step. I don't know. Unconsciously, I missed a step. What step do you think I missed?
8081.
Good job, boss. I missed that out. 8081. So I'm going to open this, add the 80. It's 8081, not 8081. 80. 80. All right, so we're done with that. So let's go back here to the setup. So next is we want to install this. We want to install wget.
You didn't associate it. Maybe not meant to associate it with video.
I did not even create Elastic IP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't create Elastic IP. So
okay.
Let's copy this and then let's go back to, let me see if I can use PowerShell for this, just in case. So let's try to play around sometimes, just see how this works, okay? See, user download. Okay, so dir, where's my pen key? Can't see my pen key. Where is it? To? Oh, it's not in my C drive. Okay, so let me exit from here. I think it's in my D drive. Okay. Anyway, let me leave this file there. Let me use the ministry that I know. All right, so next is we want to install wget. Click this, copy, and then, so I like to clear my screen, and then paste. Why is it not pasting? Yum install wget. So let me go sudo yum install wget y. Get y. Okay, so that is installing wget. Because it's an enterprise version of Linux or Red Hat, is downloading it from the Red Hat website, okay? From their server. That's why it kind of take a little time to download this guy right here. All right, we're done with that. So the next thing is let's download or install. I think this, sorry, download JDK Java. Let's go back there and just pull this, download Java. Okay, so let's wait for a couple of seconds. You look at the current CPU load, 99%. All right, that is done. The next thing we want to do is to confirm the Java version. Pretty easy and straightforward. Java -version. Okay, so you can see we have this version of Java installed in our Red Hat. The next thing is we want to do what? We want to cd into this guy and then download Nexus officially. So I'm going to copy this and cd ops, cd opt. Okay, so cd opt. All right, so we are inside opt folder or directory. Now we want to download Nexus. We're done. So you can see this is the file that was downloaded and saved. Does that make sense? If you ls now, you can see the file right here. If you ls, you can see the file right here. Okay, so once we're done, we want to extract this file. You know, we downloaded this file right here. You have to extract it. Now, it's like you unzipping a file, right? The same thing. Okay, so let's go, click, and let's unzip. All right, so we're done with unzipping. The next thing is that we want to move. All right, so we want to move that folder. All right, let's ls. All right, so we want to move. So what this does is OT extract. See, this is the one we downloaded, right? And this is the extracted version, right? So what this guy is doing, we want to move this guy right here into Nexus folder on its own, right? That's it. You can see it created that Nexus. Does that make sense? Huh? Okay, so next is that we want to create a user called Nexus because we need it right here. We have to create a user because we need it in this setup. So let's create a user. That is done. And then the next thing is to change the ownership for those files. So we're going to run this real quick. Let's go back here, copy, paste, come back here, copy and paste. So now we're moving forward, right? The next thing is that we want to go into this folder or into this file, rather not folder, into this file so that we can, add the username that we created or the user that we created. We just copy that and then open VI, okay? Victoria Island, and then we have to remove this. You uncomment it, okay? You uncomment and you do what? The user we created called Nexus, right? You add it here, Nexus. Any question? Exit, W, Q, enter, overlay. If you go back here, it will be there. All right, so any question? Okay, so once that is done, it's time to set up the memory details, okay? So once you're done, you just click on this and copy paste, and that pops up, click I'm loving this VIN already. So here you put 5512. That's like the default memory settings for Nexus, And then here you do the same thing, 512. All right. Once you're done, exit, WQ, and you're out. Any question? Now the next thing is that we want to run Nexus as a service, okay? So that so that at the end of the day, when this guy, in fact, the reason why you actually create Nexus as a service is that it automatically restarts itself just in case there's an issue with the server. Just in case something happens, automatically it restarts itself. That's one of the reasons why. So we have to go into this. Let me see if this Nexus service exists before we even create it. So we're going to go into etc systemd systems, and let's check for this, all right? Just to be sure. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say cd dash ex etc dash system system d dash, okay, let's type enter, let's ls and c. All right, so let me expand this, let me expand this and then ls. Okay, so you can see that we don't actually have this nexus.service file. Do you see that? We don't even have it. So it means that we are the one creating this file, this Nexus service file, this nexus.service. If you check what I just did right here, you can see that we don't have the file here. These are all the files we have inside systemd. Does that make sense? All right, does that make sense? All right, so let's create that real quick. Okay. Just copy and paste it there. Okay. You see that? Then you come back here and copy those codes or those syntax or those commands. Just copy from this unit. Don't make a mistake. Okay, copy and paste. That's it. You exit, and then you're done. Period. We're almost done. We're getting there gradually. We're almost done. Next thing is for us to create a link to Nexus, and then you paste. That is done. Now we want to execute these two commands. Okay. So we'll do this. Oh, sorry. Check config. And then we'll do the same thing on the second one. And then now we want to start Nexus. So we start Nexus. Okay. Nexus and Shilao. So let's go. Let me clear my screen. All right, so let me paste this. Nexus, starting Nexus. Okay, so let's check if Nexus is up and running. So we're just gonna go back here and just type status. All right, so it tells if it's up and running. So let's see. Nexus is running. Good job. Okay, so let's just check and make sure it's up and running, by using, these commands, and then check out the log, because the log tells you a lot about any program. Okay, so let's see what we're looking for. System is up. You can see right here it's up. Let's see, it's still coming up. Any question? Any questions so far? Started Nexus 3, so it looks good. All right, so we have to come out of this window, just Control C, and then let me put you out. Okay, we're done with that. So the next thing that we want to go and browse our Nexus application. All right, just come here. What port did we use? Port 80, 81. Okay, boom. You can see our Nexus is up and running. Period. Right? So now one more hurdle to cross. Here we need a username and password. All right? So we have to run this command. You remember the command card allows you to see what's inside the file. So we want to run that command so that we can get the password out. So let's just run that, and boom. Look at the password right here. This is the password right here. Copy. The username is admin. So let's go back here and type admin, and then you paste that. You're up and running. You're up and running. So you have to complete this task by just probably changing your password to something that will be easy for you to remember. Okay.
Sorry, where did you get the password, the default password?
I got it from here.
Okay.
Inside this path here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can also CD into this, CD into this, CD into this, and then boom, you got it. All right, that's why I got it. So now I'm up and running. I logged in as an admin. Everything seems good. You see everything is empty. Nothing is there. can see that nothing is there. Everything seems empty. Nothing is there. So, any question? Hmm? Any question of the day? Oh, yeah, hit me. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. If there's any question, let me know so we can get it all started. So I assume everybody understands this, right? Hmm? Everybody's quiet. What happened? Ah,
Yes.
I'm Johnny. I'm down low. Hmm?
So too much steps.
So
Yeah, we
what?
understand.
We have a lot of steps to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now the steps is the simplest part because you have a guide. Okay, the steps is the simplest part because you have a guide. One of the most important part of this whole brouhaha is understanding what you're trying to do and what you want to achieve and how to achieve them. Because in during the interview process, it is your mouth that will save you. That is when this proverb will make sense. Enudun I feel use mouth cook and soup. That's when it will make sense. Okay, so any question before we step to the next level? None? Okay, so now that we are done with, let me see, is this one okay? Good quality. Okay, so now that we're done installing Nexus, it's just there, it's useless. So we have to integrate it to Jenkins. You can see that Jenkins is just all around the corner. G soon, all around the corner. Am I boring?
No.
Let me know if I'm boring. Let me start playing my DJ music. Let's enter Zoom Jam. All right, so the next thing is to integrate Jenkins with Nexus so that when you commit your code, Jenkins help you build it. It's sent to SonarQube. SonarQube says, hey, your code is, and then it goes to save inside Nexus. And then in the process of saving inside Nexus, it helps you to deploy. Does that make sense? All right. The steps are super easy too, but we have to, understand how it works. Okay. So let me see if I have that. Let's see, set of resist, Jenkins. Okay, I've not done that part, but it's pretty easy and straightforward. So I'm just going to show you how that works. Okay. All right, let's go back to our Jenkins. Let's log into our Jenkins. Okay, so the first thing is that, we have to install the Nexus plugin. Like I said, whatever you want to do in Jenkins, in as much is in Jenkins, you have to install what? Plugin, because that plugin enhances the relationship between the Jenkins and Nexus. So whatever application, whatever you want to run, okay? All right, so let's go to manage Jenkins, all right? It's kind of hard. All right, so let's go to manage Jenkins, and then we want to install Nexus. Okay, so manage plugins available. You just type Nexus artifacts. It looks as if I've installed it before. So let me go to my installed folder and say Nexus. So you're going to download Nexus Artifact Uploader. That's what you're downloading, okay? That is what you're downloading, Nexus Artifact Uploader, all right? So once you're done with that, the next stage is to now edit your file, edit this build, your existing one, or you want to create another new one. It's all good. You can decide to create a new one. You can decide to, you can decide to create a new one, or you can decide to just edit your, the current one. Okay. So for this, I have to create my current one. Okay. So I have to, edit my current one. So I'm going to go into my file and then click configure. Once you click configure, you click build. Now, let me delete this. Before I do, let me just have it, because I think I did it a couple of days ago. So let me screenshot this so that we can use that as a guide. Let me see, let me have this. Why is this not? That's crazy. Okay. It's my screen print. Okay, so I don't know why this is not, this screenshot is not, it's not screenshotting. That's crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me open this new file here. All right, so now, like I said, once you're done with the installation of your binary artifacts, and then we want to edit the existing build, all right? So we're going to configuration, or configure and then build. So this comes out. Let me just delete it. Let me delete this. All right, so let me just close this, it doesn't matter. So, all right, so now that you're inside, I thought I deleted this. Oh, okay. Let me close this, let me go back to my configure. All right, so we're good now. So we don't have Nexus right here. So the next thing is that we have to click the build step. Once you click the build step, we're looking for what? Nexus Artifact Uploader. We click that. Now, there are a lot of steps right here that you need to understand that we have to go and pick up from somewhere. Okay? So we have to pick it up from somewhere, which is super, super, super important. If you miss any of this step, it's going to be a little difficult. Okay? If you miss any of this step, it's going to be a little difficult. Okay, so first of all, once you click, you remember that each time we want to configure any plugins, there are details that's needed. When we install GitHub plugins, we needed what? GitHub repo, and then we needed login details, right? Same thing, just same thing, no difference. All right, so once we do that, we're going to choose Nexus 3 because that's the version we installed. All right, Nexus 3. Look at it right here, Nexus 3. Okay. Now the protocol remains HTTP. Next is to insert your what? Nexus URL. Remember, we have our Nexus URL right here. You copy and you paste. Right? Now, look at it. It says URL must not start with HTTP or HTTPS. So just Sri Lanka this out. The next thing is to do what? To add credentials. Right? Remember the credentials we created here, right? Okay, so we're going to click here, click Jenkins, Add the credentials. Remember, admin, and then your password. Okay, and then you can say Nexus create 2 because I created 1 before. Then you click add, and then you select the one you created, which is this one. We're good. Now, let's go to the group ID. You're wondering, where do I find all these details? Let's go to our POM file here. Go to our Java applications, and then click on POM file. This is where you get your details. So the details we need are the group ID, the version. That's all we need. Okay, so this is all we need right here, from here to here. Let me just copy it out. All right, just I'm putting in Notepad. Just for the sake of clarity. All right, so next is what? Group ID. Let's copy this group ID and paste. Version, okay, the version we need is already there. Copy. This is the version. Paste. Okay, so the next thing is to do what? The repo here. Now, let's go to our Nexus. This is the repo. This is where we want to store the artifacts. Maven-snapshot. You better have told you repos all the files. You can see it's empty now, right? You can see it's pretty empty. So you add Maven-snapshot. All right. So let's go back to type Maven-snapshot. Okay. Are we good? Now, the next thing we want to do is to add the artifact, because all this, Bogota and Sheyi, it's just part of the deal. We need to add our file, because this is Google file, add CD. So you just click add, and then remember the artifact ID. Let's see right here. Artifact ID, just copy here and paste. Now our Java file, what kind of file it is? Remember, it's a Word file, right? Leave this one plain, and then the next thing is the file, the Java file. Okay, the next is the Java file. So we're going to put our file. Let me show you where you can get that. Here. I'm sorry. This is where you can get it. So pretty easy. All you have to do is just type my web. My web app targets. This is super important. If not, it's going to fail. My web app.war. So that is the file we want to save inside this guy right here. Okay, easy. So let's cross-check what we've done. Nexus, the protocol, of course, your Nexus URL, and then your credentials from the Nexus that you installed, and then your group ID, your versions, and your repo. You can get it from your POM file right here. Let's go to our POM file. Get it from your POM file inside your GitHub. Okay. All right. Then once that is done, you put all those details here, and then apply, and then save. Once you're done with that, you see this guy is empty right here. Nothing is inside. So let's build. Click build now. Now it's building. Let's see the output. Let's see the outputs. You can see this. You see the mem. Okay, it's analyzing the files. It's still going on. Look at it. It's deploying the WAV file. Success. Okay. You can see everything went smoothly. Right? Now, let me show you what happens. What happened here? Look at. Did you see this? Look at from here. Let's check it out from here. Upload artifact started. Your group ID, your artifact, your WAV file, the version, the file that you're trying to upload, where you are storing inside, where the repo you are storing it inside, and then all this metadata, and then everything went down and successful. Let's refresh this and see. Let's see if there's anything there. Did you see that? So in a nutshell, this code in your binary is the bug-free code. Do you understand that? It's a bug-free code. Follow comp code. All right, so it's a bug-free code. So basically, you are just here to store your file, your repo, nothing more. Anything else shorter than that, you're on your own. But basically, look at it. It stores file. Okay, you can see. It stores every file. All right. So that is how, this is the reason why this is so important. Because anything anybody is teaching in the whole world revolves around this architecture, this CIC architecture. So we go back to the understand it from the building process up to the deployment process, then you're good. Now let's do something. Let's go back to our local repo right here. Where's our repo? Okay, this is our local repo, right? Let's just do some editing. Editing Alex, and by now you should know all this, so don't worry about my bobo. You should know all this already. Any question? Roots, main. I'm just going inside different folders, okay, to get to that root. All right, so let me clear my screen and then let me index this. All right, now check out something real quick. Let me quickly chip in this. You know, this is my local repo, right? You see the HTML file that is here, right? Testing this shit, just having fun. Looks pretty good. Now let's go to our GitHub. Let's see what is there. Where's my GitHub? All right, look at my GitHub. Let's go to my GitHub. Just want to show you something real quick. Okay. Now, let me see if this changes too. All right. So you can see that this is the same thing as this. It's the same thing I have here. Okay. Now, let me exit from this guy. Let's assume that this is different. My GitHub is different, which I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to edit it. Okay, so I'm going to remove, in fact, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove, I'm just going to add Sonar to this. And then, of course, when I commit now, my deploy, you understand, just so you know, because webhooks is in progress. So now as it clicks, let me go back here, OT pick up straight up, only deploying here straight up. All right, let's wait for a couple of seconds. Let's see what happens. Now, because of this deployment, there is changes between the files in your local and the files in GitHub. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's see how. Okay, this is done. Let me see. Let's refresh this and see what happens. So you see that. Let's see, Navin. Everything looks super good. Okay, let's browse, make shots. All right, so everything looks good right here. These are our code. Okay, now this is different now. If I come here to my local repo and do this, who can tell me how I can, bring that file up to my local? Easy.
You have to pull now.
Good. So I'll have to pull. So what I'm pulling the changes from my GitHub to my local, because we first check. Once I do that and I go back here, guess what happens? Does that make sense? So you can see now that there is an alignment between my local and my GitHub. Okay, now let's even change. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Let me see this. Okay. QW. All right. So now I already made a mistake in that code. Okay. Let's do something. Git status. It says I've modified it. Git add. Okay. Now git commits. Edited homepage. Next is the word push. Once you push, let's go back here, and this guy will trigger build, and let's see what Sonar Cube will say, because it looks as if I messed up the code. So so that you can understand how this flies. So that you can understand how the CI/CD pipeline revolves. It looks so much, but it's super important for you to understand the concept. It's the concept that matters. Because guess what? You can just be on my site and just do whatever you want. But the truth is, understanding the concept, should they don't play. Okay, now it's done. Let's even go to our Sonar Cube. If Sonar Cube we frown at us, okay. It didn't frown, say it passed. I don't know why it's passed, but it kind of looks good. So everything looks well. Let me go back to. Oh, okay. Okay, everything looks. I thought I messed it up. I didn't know. I didn't mess it up. Okay, I thought I messed it up. Let me go back here. Let me go back to. Okay. So, I thought I messed it up. I didn't mess it up. So I'm just going to remove this and this. Okay, so this, add this, H1, this. All right. So, any question? Any question? Any question, please? Let's cheat. All right. So let me edit this and get out. Type this. There's already changes. You can add it, and then you can check the status again. It show green, ready to be committed, and then you commit into your local first. Okay. Commit 1, commit 101. Commit 101. Okay. And then let's push. Once you type push, it will just deploy again. So you can see the essence of having this entire process. Any question? Any question before we call it a day? So that next week, I'm going to send you guys a lab that we're going to do. Because it's Thursday, so we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So we have so much to do. Now that we're done with this, there's something left here. Slack. Okay, so we want to integrate Slack. Does that make sense? Okay, so our lab for the week is going to be, let me come here and see, Slack. Let's see if I have it here. Integrate Jenkins with Slack. Let's see. This should be, okay. All right, so this is 2. All right, so we have, let's see.
This is your website, right?
Yeah. That's my website. That's Dr. Prince. That's my Instagram handle at Dr. Prince. All right, so this is going to be we're going to integrate Jenkins with Slack. Okay, that's a lab. Let me put it right here. Where is it? All right, so we have lab 11, and then we have to trigger. Now, let me explain what this does. Okay, after you have committed your codes, your code hits the GitHub. Jenkins builds it. So now people said, hey, what's up? If the build fails, if there's an issue with your build, how do you notify the developers that, hey, wow, it's by Slack or any other messaging platform, but I like Slack. Okay, so that's why we have to integrate Slack with Jenkins and then trigger a build from Slack. It means that when you have Slack, you can actually trigger a build from Slack instead of triggering a build from here. You can do it from Slack. Yeah. So basically, that is what we're going to be doing. So you have enough time to get this all sorted out. Okay. So I'm just going to paste it. Oh, I didn't paste this back. So we have this. All right, so you have this and this, and then this and that. So you have enough. I think something is missing here. I'm going to add it tonight and send it to you guys. All right, let me just do this. So it should be 11, and it should be 12. So I'm going to add lab 10. And lab 10. So now, this lab 10 is going to be how to integrate Nexus with what? With Jenkins. So I'm going to add the URL. I'm going to do it tonight and then add the URL and then send it to you guys. Any other question? Any question of the day? Any question? Sheldon? Auntie Sewa?
I'm good.
Sado? Simi is already sleeping. G, Ransom.
I'm good.
It's always in the middle of flight, so I sleep like this. All right, so if you don't have any question, then please try as much as possible to practice. Okay, please.